So for the past year, I've been at the cutting edge of cube hardware. So whether it be new magnetic cubes or lubes or setup services, I've always just had the newest that the market had to offer. I also assumed that 303s were just getting better because of how often I switched cubes and how bad my older cubes felt when I turned them. But 3 weeks ago, I went to a cube competition in Irvine and I got the chance to try a lot of other people's cubes. What I noticed was that a lot of people were still using cubes from 2 or 3 years ago, but despite how old the cubes were, they still performed really well. So this made me wonder, are 303s from 2 or 3 years ago still comparable to 2018 flagships? Let's find out. I decided to dig up my old Alltta V2. It's a cube that was considered the best 303 on the market for 3 years. I took it apart and wiped down every piece. I then tensioned it and lubed it with a bit of weight 8. After doing 100 solves, I finalized my thoughts on the performance, and I summed it up in 2 words. I put a lot of thought into these 2 words, so here they are. The speed of this cube is perfect. Turns tend to be very accurate. The cube is also very stable. It's not quite as stable as newer magnetic cubes, but it's definitely more stable than their non-magnetic counterparts. Yeah, I'm looking at you, Walk Power and Ganzeres. Corner cutting, although great for the time, could be a bit better. For the most part, it cuts with ease, although there is a small area where the cube will refuse to cut, and this is where some lockups happen. Despite the lockups though, the performance is very good, and the difference really isn't that far off from newer flagships. Now let's talk about the times. First off, what the heck? I did my first solve and the cube just didn't feel very pleasant, which I'll talk about in a bit. I was getting a few catches and I was pretty sure I was going to get a 14 or a 15, but I stopped the timer, looked up, and turns out I got a 12.55. I then got 2 11s, 110, and another 11, and before you knew it, I was doing an average of 100 where I was averaging like mid 11s. Afterwards, I switched back to my GTS 2M and I was averaging high 10s. So this really just shows how good the performance of the Alltta V2 really is. Now here's what I meant about the cube just not feeling very pleasant. So the cube's turning feels really dated. So it's bumpy, the turning feels heavy, the pieces kind of move around their spot, it's big, and overall just very 2014. It's just not that satisfying to turn, and I don't get that feedback that makes you want to make it my main. But overall, the Alltta V2 holds up extremely well, and I was freaking impressed by just how good the cube really is. Now here's a head-to-head average of 5 between the Alltta V2 and the GTS 2M. So to sum it up, the Alltta V2 is a really good cube and can actually be compared to newer flagship 3x3s. In fact, this might still be one of the better non-magnetic cubes out there. Sure, it does kind of take you back to 2014 when cubes just weren't as high quality, but you can't really complain with the performance. That's all for this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.